scary.
Strange happening at the Izu Hotel. It's a little sudden, but perhaps because I'm so fat, I apparently snore very loudly. A few days ago, I went on a company trip to a hot spring in Izu, and when I woke up during the night, I noticed there was no one in the hotel room with me. It appeared the weaklings staying in the room with me couldn't stand my snoring, so they escaped to another room. Whatever. Well, might as well go take a piss. I went to go to the toilet, but there were no lights. I realised later that if the key isn't placed in the room, then the lights don't turn on. So when my junior colleagues left, they took the key with them. It was a little scary, so I left the door open a little and decided to, despite being a mature-aged man, sit on the toilet to do my business. Shortly thereafter, I heard a sound coming from the room. Hitachita, hitachita. It sounded like someone walking barefoot. So that's how it is. This is payback for my snoring. They're trying to get back at me by scaring me, I thought. But I'm still the senior here. I'm smarter and more cunning than any of you. I'll turn the table on you bastards. Grinning to myself, I stepped outside of the room, so quietly as not to make a sound. I took the emergency exit out to the centre garden and snuck back around. I was staying in the room in the corner of the first floor. I could easily reach the room from the outside. From the emergency exit, I approached the window so my juniors wouldn't notice me peeking into the room. I could see a figure standing in the middle of the dark room. I took a deep breath and with all my might screamed and started banging on the window. Hey! The figure noticed and with incredible force shifted towards me. Huh? They're not scared? What? Wait, that's not even my colleagues. Ah! Looking closer, I saw it was a middle-aged woman in old-fashioned Japanese clothes, holding a tray. While looking at the ground, she kept coming towards me. Shit! That's not a person! Petrified, I took off running with my bare feet. While running, I looked back and she was still chasing me while swinging the tray. After that, I just kept running as fast as I could and woke up some of my other colleagues to let me into their room. For a while, we could hear the clattering of the tray coming and going in front of the door, but it finally fell all silent. The next morning, I spoke to my junior colleagues about what happened, and they said, "It had nothing to do with your snoring. While you were sleeping, there was a woman standing over you, constantly looking at you. We were scared, so we ran." Hospital room 322 was terrifying. At the hospital I used to work in, there was this black shadow, kind of like the shape of a person made up of tiny black dots. This hospital had an IC unit where the seriously ill patients ended up. Room 322 was for patients who had left ICU but were still in critical condition. It was the room closest to the nurses' station. There were always strange things happening in room 322. Every time I entered, I felt the sense of, I don't want to be in here. Opposite room 322 were some toilets, and I once saw the black shadowy figure leave 322 and disappear into the toilets. About 10 or 20 minutes later, one of the patients in room 322 began to worsen, and they died shortly thereafter. Even now, I feel like there was a connection between the patient's death and the shadowy figure. 443 for our family, a black figure, god of death, but I think everyone views such things differently. Personally, I think it's a god of death. 521. This happened 8 years ago, but before I got married, I got pregnant and my boyfriend went to find a gynecologist for me. He heard about a good place from one of his friends. This gynecologist operated independently out of a hospital and was a little strange, but when I entered the hospital and was alone, he was very kind to me. After my baby was born, I saw this round black figure outside my hospital room window. About a week after I was admitted, it didn't matter if it was day or night, the black figure seemed to be targeting my baby. But I thought that maybe I was just tired after giving birth. When I was discharged, I looked up the hospital on the internet, and while the gynecologist was listed, it appeared that the department was mostly used for people seeking abortions. Thinking back on it, while I was hospitalised, I certainly saw a lot of people coming and going, but I never saw any pregnant women. About a year after I was discharged from the hospital, the sign for that department was taken down. 522, so black figures targeted even babies, huh? But I think the fact that nothing happened means that 521 has a strong guardian spirit. So strong, the black figure was unable to touch the baby. The awful thing that happened at school. When I was an elementary school student, ghost stories were really popular, like Hanako-san from the toilet or Kuchisaki Onna. Those type of stories went around our school as well. Compared to other schools, we really didn't have stories that were changed to be more interesting, but we did have one story that no other schools had. If you opened the door leading to the path between the gym at exactly 3:56 p.m, you would see a set of stairs that shouldn't be there. And those who were able to climb those stairs would find they could now pass their worst subjects. However, if you didn't climb the stairs or were unable to climb the stairs, it was said you would die. My friends A, B and I decided that we'd try it out, and one Saturday afternoon we headed towards the door. At the back of the teacher's room there was a small kitchen, a tool closet and that door. Generally there were a lot of people around there, so we decided to do it on a Saturday. On rainy days we'd use the path to leave the gym, but when it was sunny it was closed. On this particular day it was sunny. Using the watch I secretly took from a home, we watched the time and then opened the door. The third grade teacher was hanging there dead. I didn't really remember what happened after that. The only thing I clearly remember is the strange smell. The instant we opened the door, I don't remember the teacher at all. They sat us down on the couch in the principal's office and we cried until our parents arrived. For a while after that, I had a lot of dreams I didn't understand very well. After that, people didn't talk about the mysterious stairs at the end of the path, but instead of the ghost of the teacher who died there. After the accident, the path was completely closed off, and several years after I graduated, the entire school was demolished. I returned home recently and heard from one of my old classmates that even now there are rumours of a ghost that appears in the storehouse where that path once stood. For some reason, I still find it terrifying. I don't want to go near that school ever again. Thank you very much for watching, and for those who've subscribed, I also thank you very much. Any support is much appreciated. I hope that I can continue to provide you with some useful entertainment and also some information you can learn from. Did you enjoy that? If you did, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe and hit the notifications icon so you can see when I've done another video. And
I want you to tell all your friends about me.
until next time, I am Sir Shudder. See you soon. Be safe, be cool.